Before we get started with this episode, I would like to say that this podcast is sponsored by Sean Felder, who is associated with XS Energy Drinks. All his business information can be found in the description below, as well as on our Instagram and Twitter. So the Hype House is getting a reality show on Netflix, and a lot of people are not happy about it.
I think I could say I'm one of those people, only because they canceled so many shows. The Society, Sabrina, The Witch, a show, Atypical, I think it's called, for a Hype House show.
Personally, I actually like reality TV. I'll watch anything.
I like reality TV too, but if there's something to it. You know what I mean? Maybe I shouldn't judge it, but from right now what it's looking like, it's like they honestly don't do much. So I don't know what they would show on
I feel like maybe because even the other influencers that have reality shows like Sway House and then Taylor Holders, what is it called?
I don't know what it's
House
called.
of Creators. I think that's what it's called. Their reality shows are on IGTV, so I don't understand what. But it's because you know how Thomas was saying I've been working on this, I've been working on this, and I really feel like he pushed for it to specifically be on Netflix. But is it Netflix worthy?
I feel like Netflix has taken a big downgrade.
Oh, for sure.
It's all about HBO Max, I'm gonna say.
Okay, so I'm just gonna go through the comments on TikTok room and see what some of the people said. Some people said, keeping up with the TikTokers, this is my 13th reason. So Netflix can do all of this, but cancel the Society.
See, that's what I'm saying.
Someone said, how about renewing the Society for another season instead of wasting resources? Anyways, everybody's talking about the Society.
Because that's a good show.
Someone said, who asked? Someone said, stan HBO Max.
See?
Someone said, Nikita will try to claim it as her show.
Okay, but first of all, Nikita is a 30-year-old woman.
You pushing 30.
And you hanging out with kids.
Stop.
Please. Please, Nikita.
Oh my gosh. But okay, let's talk about Nikita though, because even when she had her show on Snapchat, she does too much.
I think she did it for clout purposes.
We'll insert a clip that has been going viral on TikTok of her flipping a table over. For what reason, we really don't know.
It's like a friendship thing with us.
Oh, am I just like a transactional thing?
I mean, I thought I made myself just clear, so.
I mean, you never make yourself clear. You're on your phone every 5 seconds. How are you gonna make yourself clear and then I check my phone and then you're with someone else?
I mean, I never.
You're always on this. If it means so much to you, then go get it. Go fetch. If it means that. Oh, we can be dramatic. We can be dramatic too.
Nikita.
If you want to be dramatic, it's usually not that serious.
And it looks like it was staged.
I feel like it was staged. Because how are you at a restaurant? Nobody's there. You got a fold-up table. What restaurant has a fold-up table? And then when she threw the phone, you didn't even hear a sound of the phone falling. So I feel like it was staged.
Mad extra for no reason. But I feel like when it does come out, the show, the only reason I'm gonna watch it is
for Vinny Hacker.
I'm sorry, but I just have to. But other than that,
I just hope it's not cringy, because I actually like I said, I'll watch anything. I actually like Taylor's show, House of Creators. It's a really good show, but there's actual substance to it. They actually do things and things actually happen. I don't want to watch the Hype House TikTok whatever show and then it be them in the house and how they film TikToks. Vinny Hacker's also fighting in the TikTokers versus YouTube fight. And America, you give your thoughts about it first. I'll let you go.
I have no. I feel like I think it's gonna be entertaining. I really do think it's gonna be entertaining to some extent.
But it's I feel like a lot of them have zero boxing.
I feel like people are taking boxing as a joke. And I don't know why, but literally boxing is one of the hardest sports ever.
It's anytime two influencers start beefing, there, okay, let's box.
Yeah. And I think when they released that they were gonna fight, I think Jake Paul was like, I'm so glad I can pave the way for content creators to
I mean,
like start boxing. But he's not even a good boxer.
But like none of that included, like no stats included. He did because him and Logan were the first people to break off from that and start boxing. And now look, everybody's doing it.
But I feel like, well, true, but
I'm not saying that he's
but I feel like, I don't know, they're taking boxing as a joke. Like, why don't y'all just wrestle?
Why don't y'all hit the streets like we did with our iPhone?
No, but
why don't y'all wake up at 7 a.m. and go on campus?
You know, for real. But I think Bryce Hahn, the Austin McBroom one, that's the one, like...
Oh, for sure.
That's gonna...
I feel like Austin only wanted to fight Bryce because, like, he's not...
relevant anymore.
Yeah, like
he wanted some clout.
First of all, I was never an Ace Family stan. Something about YouTube couples don't even
yeah, right. If you watch... I'm sorry, I'm not judging, but I'm judging. If you watching these YouTube couples and all up about their lives and stuff, that's...
Vibes. Something is wrong up in the noggin.
Something is... I don't know. Personally, me, like, I couldn't. Because... And people... Like, the Ace Family's fan base is so strong, and I'm like...
And then people look up to them and be like, oh, I want to be like Catherine and Austin. Oh, I want to be like De'Ara and Ken. First of all, they all getting cheated on. So...
And like, Austin McBroom is literally a predator. I'm sorry, but he is. There's been so many like cases,
things, yeah.
But I don't know. It's gonna be entertaining, but
I guess we'll just have to see. You know,
I'm a Celtics fan, and when this goes up, like a week ago, Jason Tatum dropped 60 points. I'm sorry, but he is 19. I'm just kidding. He's 23, and 60 points as a career high. I literally can't.
That's actually really good.
Yeah, that's so crazy. I literally have, like, the biggest crush on Jason Tatum. Tatum and Timothy Chalamet are, like, I
have, like, the biggest crush on Pete Davidson. And that actually really broke my heart that he's dating that girl from Bridgerton. What's her name? Emily?
Phoebe.
Oh.
Girl.
Anyways.
Her name's Phoebe. But she was so good in Bridgerton. Like, I'm sorry, but she was so good.
I will not be watching. They need to cancel that. Isn't that on Netflix?
Yeah.
Yeah, they can take that off.
No. Chill out. No, but Pete Davidson, a lot of people find him attractive, but like I literally can't find him attractive.
Don't get disrespectful.
It's the same with you and Timothy Chalamet.
No, Timothy Chalamet though, he's a good looking guy. Like he's not. I'm not gonna be like, ooh, Timothy Chalamet.
Yeah.
But like. He has like that face structure where he's a really attractive person, although I'm not attracted to him, but like he looks like he could be a model.
Yeah. Well, yeah. The only thing about him is he literally looks like a lot of celebrities. Like there's this one celebrity.
Oh my god.
Her name, she's in Stranger Things, but I don't remember her name.
It's the girl who plays
I literally don't remember.
What's her the brother?
The brother. Yeah.
Mike's best friend's brother. I mean sister.
No, sister.
The one who dates Charlie Heaton.
Yeah. They literally have the same facial structure, and that's literally so crazy that they do. It's like the cheekbones are like, it's like sucked in, and the chin's like gripping. I don't know.
Not gripping. Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Let's Talk About It podcast. Today we're here with special guest Sean Felder.
How y'all guys doing? Mr. Sean Felder, NYC, of course. Y'all lovely ladies know about my situation suing the United States Tennis Association on racial bias, systemic racism. Look forward to getting information about where we stand and how I got caught in this situation with the USTA.
Okay, so do you want to go ahead and give us a quick, not us, because we, have researched about the situation, but go ahead and give the listeners a quick synopsis of the situation.
Okay, again, as you saw in the articles, I had a past incident with CSC, former Vice President Scott Dennison. If you saw the post, which was an exclusive story, raced to a fault about him sending hateful emails against African Americans. Now, mind you, I had worked 8 years at the U.S. Open. I knew Scott was a pain in the butt, but I didn't know he was racist until I saw the hateful comments about blacks by former, I don't know if he's still working there, New York Post reporter Kevin Fasick. He made it exclusive of September 13th, 2013, I sued CSC at the time with the lawsuit. I won a settlement in January 2015. And what was strange about it, Gloria, I never got a call or apology from the USTA to hear my side of the story. So what happened during the summer of July of 2016, I got hired by AJ Square Security, a private security company, which I saw on Craigslist. They need security guards for U.S. Open. I was hired at the time by a gentleman named Terrence Rawls. He liked my security background, and that's what happened at the time. We waited for the final reply from the USTA to supply credentials. If you remember, I sent you a picture of me with a credential working at the time at the U.S. Open with CSC. So Terrence told me to go out there on the 29th to get my credential, which I did. And when I went to the credential office on the 29th of July of 2016, I was refused. I called Mr. Ross to ask what was the issue with that. He said the USTA decided to blackball me due to the past 8/3 incident with Mr. Dennison, which I found very ludicrous. And I decided to sue the USTA on July 7th, 2016. As we stand, we had the appeals with the U.S. Court of Appeals, which we had the oral argument of January of 2020 of this year, January 21. And we're just waiting for the results, which we assume we will win the Court of Appeals oral argument, and we'll go from there.
With the owner, I saw some of his racist remarks. Have you personally ever had a racist encounter with him?
No, but I said he has some smart remarks. A lot of people didn't like the smart remarks, but he was one of them arrogant white guys. You know what I'm saying, Gloria? He thought because he had a high power position, he would show his arrogant ways. I saw his actions. I mean, we had our few disputes. I had to tell him, hey, cool out with the arrogant attitude, you know? So I didn't know at the time that he was racist, but I mean, he was arrogant at times. Not until I met with Kevin Basic during that year of 2013, he showed me the comments he made about blacks that I found out officially that he was discriminating against blacks.
Do you know, well, it's obvious that the owner is racist and whatnot, but previous to you, like, suing them, were there any other complaints of him being racist or doing anything about it?
Not that I know of, but I'm sure the USTA knew about it. They probably kept it a secret because if you saw the comments he made in the New York Post about blacks, I'm sure they knew about it. But I knew another gentleman at the time that probably knew his ways. His name was John Storer. He was the second boss in command behind Scott. He was the director of security. And I believe if you saw the article of the Post, he did told CSC management that I don't want to deal with him and his attitude. So my only disappointment with him at the time, Guerrero, is why didn't John address that to the USTA head of security? His name was Mike Rodriguez, about Scott, and say, hey, look, Mike, I can't deal with Scott. Either you get rid of him or get rid of me, because if he's going to keep talking these comments about people of color, I can't deal with it. So that's the only issue I had with John Storer. But you saw he spoke about it saying, hey, you know, he's my boss. What can I do? Hey, John, you were sitting in command. You could have told CSC, give him the ultimate deal. You can deal with him or deal with me, you know?
Yeah. Is he currently still the owner, or did he get fired?
Scott got fired. CSC lost the contract. What I was heard, Andy Frame got the contract of last year. I'm sure that reputation with CSC was following them. So after that New York Post article came, he was fired.
I have these articles, and one of the letter you sent, I'm gonna be honest, I couldn't really read.
Oh, that's no problem. No problem.
Handwriting. But in this, the parts I could read, I think you did give like a general synopsis to us of what happened with the situation. And then you also left witnesses who support your lawsuit. So if you want to go into that and let the viewers know about how they can help.
Yes, I believe the names I gave you was James Harrington, Brian Tillery, Summer Moncrief, and Lorianne Bridget, right? Those are the names I gave you?
Yeah, those are correct. Okay.
Lorianne Bridget used to work with me. She was doing retail at the time at the U.S. Open back in 2006 until 2008. She saw how CSC security was being mistreating the people of color, the young folks, how the white supervisors were verbally abusing them. She also saw how Mr. Dennison was yelling mostly at the young people of color on security sites. You have to understand something, Gloria. I don't know if you ever saw the U.S. Open TV, these guys are working long hours. They working 12, 13-hour shifts in the hot sun. Sometimes they had no hats on. Sometimes they were getting no permanent breaks. Sometimes they were working a site with no breaks. So it was kind of hectic at that time. You know what I mean?
Sorry to cut you off, but I do have a question about that because I did read part of the article where it was talking about the working conditions. Did you know anyone ever bringing this up and, filing a lawsuit simply over the working conditions because 12 hours, no water, no hat, not providing the proper equipment for a shift like this is illegal. So do you know if anyone came out about that?
I don't know who sued, but I do remember if we're looking at the Village Voice, the Open Secret, Darrell Johnson, who I know very well, spoke about the complaint. I don't know what action was taken. Shan Thompson spoke about his weight. I don't know what results came out of that. Never Reed, my best friend, he was called the N-word by white supervisor. He complained to the state for management. Nothing was done. I don't know results for that. So if you saw that article of the Open Secret, you saw names of people who also agreed to complaints and nothing was done. Mm-hmm. So it looked like I was the main one that took it to the next level and sued CSC Secretary at the time, as you saw on social media. Lorianne Bridget was also sexually assaulted by a couple of people in retail. I believe she made some complaints to the upper management of the USTA. Nothing was done. Brian Tillery applied a couple of times. They never called him back. He felt like kind of slighted. And James Harrington also spoke a couple of times that he applied to CSC. They gave him a runaround by not hiring him. So I don't know what for action those folks took at the time, but they supported me and knew about how I was very outspoken about it and being belittled. And they also knew about me giving over 25 people jobs, helping them get work at the time, and I wasn't appreciated doing that. So those were the main people I mentioned, those names that strong supportedly backed me up.
With all those complaints, nothing was done?
Nothing was done. Who wants you to, America or Gloria?
America.
America, I don't know if they was afraid to take it to the step further. I was like the main culprit. And you got to remember something. I had made complaints to black organizations at that time when the article came with Dennison with the New York Post. I haven't heard nothing for the NWACP, National Action Network, Reverend Sharpton, the black newspaper at the time, Amsterdam News. The only complaint of black police at that time that really backed me up was Charles Rango. I don't know if you ever heard Charles Rango. He's retired. He only one that sent me a letter that he was upset. I wrote to the Magic Johnson Foundation in L.A. They wrote back and supported me, but nobody else from the black political leaders of New York City, which I was very disappointed because you figure of a person like that who spoke very disrespectfully about blacks that they will show outrage, but nobody showed no type of action.
Would you say that these organizations are afraid to handle a case like this because of the power that the USTA has? Yes. I don't know if they're intimidated by the USTA at the time, that they've been a corporation and they make so much money. My thing was, with these black organizations, that they should have stepped in and said, hey, we're not going to let Mr. Felder get blown like that. Let's back him up. You figure somebody like the NWACP, who supposed to fight against racial injustice and bigotry at work, was step in, but nothing. And I'm very critical of the NWACP President Derek Johnson. I wrote to him 3 times about my situation right now with the oral argument. No response. I'm very disappointed in him. Also wrote to the current Queens President, Donovan Richards of New York City, the only black official that has that position of power. This happened in his borough of Queens, New York. He hasn't responded. I'm disappointed. And I'm also disappointed of members of black media that stepped in. I don't know if they're intimidated by the state, but they should at least step in and responded. So, with no support from these black platforms, that are supposed to support and be there in times of need.
Yes.
I'm sorry?
Yeah, that's supposed to fight against racial injustice at work, systemic racism.
Right. So how did you find support? What route did you go about once you figured out that, okay, NCAAP is not going to help me? How did you find people who were going to help you?
I'll tell you what's just funny. At that time, my first situation with CSC, I wrote a letter to former President Barack Obama at the time, and he wrote back and said that your actions was very was very serious, and they were very disappointed. They said they would back me up. So at that time, I still got that letter to this day. If I ever find out, I'll mail you the letter at the time when Barack Obama supported me and my situation. For some strange reason this year, I finally got a letter from the National Action Network, so I guess they finally woke up. But the only disappointing part of it is I don't know if they think this was not big of a platform for them. They recommend me to a couple of lawyers. So I wrote to a couple of lawyers. I'm still waiting for their response. So I said, okay, at least they knew what was going on. But I wanted to take a step further. So I also wrote to a couple of the black tennis players like Coco Gauff, Sloane Stephens, the Williamsons, to see if they used their platform to speak out. I'm still waiting for a response. I also wrote to the Women's Tennis Association in Florida, waiting for their response. I wrote to Kamala Harris, the current Vice President of the United States, waiting for their response. So I wrote to those type of people to see if they could respond or at least use their platform to speak out to help support the systemic racism going on. I do believe I also wrote to members of the news media here in New York. I wrote to News One Cheryl Willis. You can look her up. She has a show called In Focus. She knew about it. And we spoke about that, too. The problem with that was she didn't know what the people of power at her news station will put the story out. So she said, keep her posted on that. We talked about that at times. I did get support from City Council by a gentleman named Mark Levine, a very nice Jewish man. He said he was outraged, and his staff wrote to the court people about hoping that the USTA would settle with me. So at least I got certain people in political power in New York responding. So that was some type of process. Also, at the time, the Queensboro president, I think her name is Martina Lintz, a nice white lady. She wrote back and said that she'll let me know anything about it. So there was some type of progress for the New York political leaders.
So going off of that, what can we do and our listeners do to support you and support this? Because obviously it's not right.
Oh, definitely they can call the USTA. I can give you the number. I think I gave you the number in the paper. And they can write to the USTA CEO, Michael Dowse, to express outrage and demand that they apologize to me or at least not go to the U.S. Open or possible boycott. I can give you the number to call. Here's the number to contact the corporate office in White Plains, New York. It's 914-696-7000. Again, 914-696-7000 to express outrage. If they want to write to the United States Tennis Association, this is their address, 70 West Red Oak Lane. Attention, CEO Michael Dorsey. He runs the whole USTA. And their address again, 70 Red Oak Lane, White Plains, New York, zip code 10604-3602. Again, White Plains, New York, 10604-3602. Ladies, you gave a right to them to express your outrage and support. So the more people write and support and call and show outrage, that'll put more pressure on the USTA to possible settle, because the worst thing they want right now is bad publicity and bad press. And also I mentioned two other black men ladies in that letter that's also sued the USTA that were African-American males, was NYPD officer Lieutenant Tank Shepard and umpire Tony Nimmons. You can look them up also on social media. They also sued the USTA on racial bias. So that's 3 African-American males suing the USTA, a billion-dollar corporation. So if they're not outraged by that, I don't know what.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Mr. Felder, for coming on our podcast and talking about your experience with the USTA.
Thank you.
Okay, you guys take care. Have a good weekend.
You
Okay,
too.
bye-bye.
Thank you guys so much for listening to our third episode.
You gonna say second again? Anyways.
I don't know. Hold on.
No, leave this because it was funny.
I don't know. But thank you guys so much for listening. I hope you guys liked it, and I hope you guys were informed, because this is obviously something that not a lot of people know about and doesn't get as much media attention. So yeah, thank you guys, and we'll also leave ways in which you guys can help the situation.
If you like this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up, comment, and subscribe, and also click the bell so that you can be notified every time we post a new video. Make sure to follow our social media, Instagram at Let's Talk About It Podcast with an S, TikTok and Twitter at Let's Talk Pod 702. If you want to be a guest, email us at Let's Talk About It Podcast 702 at gmail.com. Bye, guys.